The official release of Mohbad's autopsy and toxicology has brought experts in the field to give their own opinion, and more of them will be giving their opinion. I want you to pay attention to this one because they think they can hoodwink, they think they can manipulate, they think they can lie and cover up. This generation is no longer accepting foolishness as a way of life. I want you to pay attention to this expose. It will shine light into the lies that has been told so far. We can come to a conclusion as we have been saying it times without number that the demise of Mohbad is attached to his request for paternity. If he had kept his mouth shut, if he did not say anything about it, but did his own research on the ground and found out what he needed to find out, and if he had found out about it through whatever means, maybe through the Canadian embassy, whatever, he should have kept his mouth, knowing fully the type of woman, lady that he's dealing with, coupled with what his seers or spiritualists had told him earlier. He should have known that he's dealing with dangerous people. After all, the audio that got leaked where Mohbad could be heard saying, Cynthia is with them, Cynthia is with them. Oh my God, I don't know who to believe anymore. That should already make you know that you are dining with the daughters of darkness. You are dining with your enemies. But unfortunately, Mohbad is not here to learn lessons from his past. Let us listen and we'll talk more. Before we proceed, please like and share, tap on the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell. Special thank you to those that have tapped on the thanks button, the one with the love icon and the dollar sign in the middle of it. May God Almighty replenish your pockets. If you also want to be a part of this, you can as well tap on the same button. Let's get right into it.
The case has a criminal component that has nothing to do with the drugs. Nothing. There's something on that invitation that really says it all. That autopsy and that toxicology text were contradictory. They're talking about a body that was not embalmed. If a body is not embalmed, how are you even going to find acetaminophen and diphenhydramine showing up? Not to talk of a body that was embalmed. An embalming liquid contains formalin, and formalin disintegrates the liver, the kidneys, everything turns to water when we die. I'm very intelligent. This case hasn't ended yet. I just cried because I hate injustice. I hate injustice when I see injustice. This is Dr. Kemi Olunloyo. It is the 7th of June, 2024, and Friday afternoon. Many of you just saw me on Daddy Free's show just now. I'm very sorry, and I apologize for crying and breaking down on the show, particularly at the end of the show. It was very emotional for me. You see, everybody has something they're expertise in. And I studied pharmacy, and then I studied public relations and journalism. While studying journalism, I decided that I love music news and I love investigative journalism, world news and health news. In investigative journalism, there's a lot of forensic work done. And this is why we as investigative journalists, we work alongside police in America. In Nigeria, investigative journalists are the enemy of the police. They would invite us and invite us and invite us to help them with their investigation. As it says in their letters, we're not supposed to help you. We cannot, disclose the source. So Nigerians are bent on always knowing the source, always wanting to know the source. And we cannot give you the source because in journalism, you protect the source. There's something called source protection. You can Google it. I totally disagree with Daddy Freeze 100%. Ife Dayo is my junior brother, and I've known him since UI days when he was a student. I watched Freeze grow up from a student at UI, from a student at ISI, International School, and to an OAP at Cool FM, and to doing his own business now, the Daddy Freeze live shows and other media ventures. But when we argue, argument is argument. Okay? Freeze is not convinced by what I said to him. This pharmacist and this clinical pharmacist, this is the reason in 1988 why they changed the entire pharmacy curriculum in North America and wanted everybody to go through the 6-year program instead of 4 or 5 years. And the 6-year program will give you the PharmD. Some people that left before the PharmD, they went and did an extra 2 years because of the clinical knowledge. The clinical knowledge is very, very important. In clinical pharmacy, we do rounds with the doctors in the morning to see patients. We're just like doctors. We do what they do. But we are in the drug part of it, the medication part of it. As a pharmacist, we learn many things in school that nurses don't learn. That nurse that came at the end of Freeze's show was talking nonsense. Okay, nurses also have their own classifications. They're different kind of nurses in America, in UK. LPN, GPN, RN. RN is the top one, auxiliary, everything. But a nurse studies pharmacology in school. But nurses don't study pharmaceutics. Okay? Pharmaceutics, the study of actual drugs. Before you study what they're going to do, you need to know what they are. Pharmacotherapeutics, how exactly that drug is working in the system, how it's colliding with the organs, how it's colliding with other drugs, drug-drug interaction, how it's colliding with food, drug-food interaction. There are many drugs you can't take with certain foods. There are many drugs you can't take with certain drugs. Pharmacotherapeutics, pharmaceutics. We have pharmacognosy, the study of drugs from their herbal roots. Okay, because one of the things that Mohbad was drinking that night was bitters. Okay, that was the sponsor of the show, the General Bitters, owned by Cubana chief priest, who was not even asked or condoled with the family. Everybody's been silent in the music industry. You see, I'm an asset to this case and an asset to that show. So if Freeze is not concerned, I heard him say something about forensic pharmacology. There's no such thing as a forensic pharmacologist. Freeze. What you need on that show is a pathologist and a toxicologist. But it's hard to get guests to come live on these kind of shows because, first of all, they can't be representing where they work. Second of all, this is Nigeria. Nobody wants to show their face. So if Freeze is going to get somebody else, he needs to get those ones that are abroad. Because nobody wants invitations. Nobody wants all this stuff. Ifedayo. If you need me, contact me like you said, but I've said my own. The case has a criminal component that has nothing to do with the drugs. Nothing. There's something on that invitation that really says it all. That autopsy and that toxicology text were contradictory. They're talking about a body that was not embalmed. If a body is not embalmed, how are you even going to find acetaminophen and diphenhydramine showing up? Not to talk of a body that was embalmed. An embalming liquid contains formalin, and formalin disintegrates the liver, the kidneys, everything turns to water when we die. I'm very intelligent. This case hasn't ended yet. I just cried because I hate injustice. I hate injustice when I see injustice. Mohbad was murdered. Nobody's going to convince me. And he had to do with something which is best known to him, but he can't talk. Something that relates to that child and the DNA test. Because if I didn't hear that part, I will not go online the next day he died on the 13th and write that nobody must donate for that woman. She must go and do a DNA test for that child. Because I had concrete conversations that had happened in that car before the fight. It was about the paternity and a Canadian visa.
Welcome back. A lot of things are not adding up on this autopsy and toxicology report. It is so sad. Experts are not agreeing, and for us to get a pathologist, a seasoned one, well experienced, who can interpret and also connect the dots together with a doctor who is an expert in this field, it's going to take a lot of efforts. But I believe that they will come forward. I am very sure of that. they will definitely come forward to do this. If Mohbad's demise gathered this strength, I am very sure, I am of the opinion, and I believe strongly that we will have professionals who will willingly, without being forced to, they will come forward. They will be speaking. They will tell us what we need to know. So sad. So sad. So the department in charge of autopsy and toxicology claimed that they had conducted a test that they presented somewhere, wherever. They claimed that part of the test had been conducted somewhere in the United States. Upon investigation, it was discovered that none of that ever happened. So where did they get these results that has been presented from? And how come the wait of 6 to 7 months cannot yield results that are reasonable? What is happening here? Why? Why is this so? The wait yielded no reasonable results that we can connect to. So if the police already botched the investigation at the beginning because they were not really ready to achieve anything reasonable, how then can we get justice for Mohbad if autopsy, toxicology, and even the report of the police has nothing that we can work with? What are we going to do about it? Somehow, it seems this case will be officially closed by the state government. Now, Mohbad's father is requesting for private autopsy and toxicology using the remains of Mohbad. Now, before this can be permitted, there are certain documents that needs to be released to him. He's working on that, and I'm very sure that there is no way that they will be behaving or acting like the police station that Mohbad's father went to seeking for a police report to take Mohbad to the morgue. They are not going to deny him this because it is not a police station in a corner somewhere. This is now public. Mohbad's father will be getting the court to request this document, and even if the court will not be getting involved in it, I think they will want to willingly give this to him, hand over what is required, a copy of the autopsy and toxicology, and some other document that Mohbad's father might need to have his own private, independent autopsy and toxicology. Whilst we're on that, we also want to sort out DNA. We'll be in support of Mohbad's father on this one to make sure that the truth and nothing but the truth is established on this one. We'll make sure that justice for Mohbad is gotten. We will not stop halfway. You heard what our guest said. She has always been practical, direct on justice for Mohbad. A lot of things are not adding up. They are not adding up. So The conclusion of this toxicology report, apart from the autopsy, where the pathologist said they had examined the outward part of Mohbad and that he had a wound on his forearm. Wunmi has told us stories as regards that one, and Spenny has also told us stories surrounding that. The police, according to their report, they said Mohbad had bled profusely. Wunmi said none of that happened. Spenny said none of that happened. Who told the police about this excessive bleeding? Who told the police about it? I don't know. Nothing is adding up. Now, I've said it times without number, and I know a lot of you concur to it. If the police really wanted to work, we're talking about a 13 special investigators instituted for this particular justice for Mohbad. How can 13 go to Mohbad's house? And at the end of the day, they did not request for the mobile phones of everyone connected to Mohbad 72, 48 hours to 24 of his demise. How come? Why? Obviously, they are not willing to get justice for Mohbad for reasons that we will be demystifying. We'll be breaking it down. This will not be allowed. No. This should not be allowed. This is not right. This is not right. This is not supposed to be. We cannot remain insane, and keep hoping that grace will continuously abound. God forbid. We have to forbid it. It is not possible. We will not accept this. It is not right. It is not right. It is not right. It should not be allowed. This is wickedness. This is evil. I don't know what you guys think of this one. Drop your comments, like and share. See you in the next update.